Hi, welcome to Truth of Tal and Isaac. I'm Tal.
I'm Isaac.
Episode number 146 coming at you today. And this is a recap and a thank you to the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, we're back. We had to take some time off.
We did have to take a bit of time off, but we get to talk about the Lions, their season. We'll talk a little about some of the other Sus Bowl coming up. But realistically, this is an episode that's going to be heavy focus on the Lions, the future of the Lions, and then some NBA hot takes.
You have a lot of notes, and I can't really understand most of them. Most of them aren't legible. That's the word, right? Yeah, so I don't know really where we'll go. I'm sure
this could go in a few different directions, but realistically, the Lions season went in a couple of different directions in the last 2 weeks. So
all I know is my last Lions topic, I just wrote why the Lions will win the Soupy next year. And I have 3 legit points that are just going to be the backbone for the next 4 months for us.
That's it.
And I'll introduce that later. I'll do a thesis even.
Okay.
Off the top, go ahead.
Detroit Pistons.
Back. So
They're
back.
tough. People want to play for them. They're entertaining. This is like 4 years ago when the Pistons were losing a lot of games, but they were entertaining and tough. Now, they're not necessarily winning as many games as we'd like, but they're winning a lot.
Oh, I'm so happy with 500. That's a gift.
And let's talk about their building blocks, right? Like Cade, All-Star, finally everybody in
We'll save
North
this.
America
We're going to
gets
talk
it.
about the Pistons later. So let's save all this.
Okay.
We like the Pistons. And tell the people what's happening on Friday.
Yeah, we're going.
Yeah,
we actually got VIP tickets to the game on Friday. We'll be close to the court.
Brackets. No, we didn't. I just bought them. They're not VIP tickets. I'm sure we'll end up some section we shouldn't be in.
Probably.
Is that okay to say?
No. Well, we're going to meet Val and Isaiah at the game, and they have told us that they're very close, and they probably have 2 extra tickets for us to slide closer.
And we're not gonna say any rude terms to any Kyrie players. We're gonna be very behaved. We're not gonna chirp Kyrie.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah, we will. Maybe we should make shirts up. Just
yeah.
kidding. Too political. Okay, so Pistons, we're back. We'll talk about basketball later, though. What else you have?
Are the Red Wings back?
Red Wings. So my Red Wings buddies say we're back, and then
Okay.
I talked to Uncle Dan. Shout out Uncle Dan. He's like, we're not back. The Wings are not back.
Why not?
I don't know.
We're still not in the playoff race yet. I mean,
It's a really
we're in the
good
playoff race. We're not in the picture.
Like if they
It
were in the
is.
NBA, they'd be an 8 seed.
For sure.
So I just wish we could do something there. I don't know. I wish those teams got worse because I looked at the wildcard race and it's like all these teams are actually pretty good.
Yeah.
So let's talk.
Montreal and Tampa are solid.
But future,
they're entertaining. They're good.
We're back. It's
We
still fine.
should try and get some VIP tickets given to us for the Wings.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe you could get VIP tickets one time.
I'll try and do that.
Okay.
Okay.
What else do you have?
The NCAA champion Ohio State Buckeyes. That's interesting because they won. They're happy. But if you look back at some of the Woody Hayes stuff, he said, doesn't matter about who the champion is. It matters beating Michigan. And it's been about 1,487 days since Ohio State beat Michigan.
Yep.
Listen, they had a great team. They used NIL money.
Wrap it,
properly.
buddy. We're not talking about Ohio State. That's way too much on Ohio State.
Yeah.
20 seconds too much.
Okay, Chris Illich, I think, listens to the show. Please sign Alex Bregman. Like, you don't need to sign him for $200 million, but $190, we need him. Come
Okay.
on.
All right.
So you going to sign him? You get some
No.
scoop?
Do you have anything else?
I do.
Okay, go ahead.
Did you know that in the NFL, the refs can actually award a touchdown if it actually hasn't
We'll
scored?
talk about that later.
Thanks, Wiz.
Talk about the refs told us that, and the announcers.
Yeah, but Wiz really brought up in good discussion the other day.
Shout out Wiz.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about that later as well.
Okay.
Do you have anything else off the top that's worth talking about?
What about the rapper who wanted to take the lift and was denied?
Stop.
Because
So real quick, I have one off the top. I didn't write it down. It just kind of came to mind. It's worth talking about. Me and my boys last night saw a 3.5-hour movie in theaters. My main take. It's a good movie. Main takeaways was intermissions. It had an intermission. Let's bring them back. It was awesome. So we walked out of the movie.
You need to speak about the movie for a moment. The fans want to know.
The Brutalist is probably going to win Best Picture. Adrian Brody legacy game. It's really good. It's not for everybody.
We watched Emilia Perez on Sunday. 13 Oscar nominations. So you think it's awesome. Not awesome.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that.
Not awesome.
So the movie I was trying to talk about, The Brutalist, it's awesome. Like, it's not for everybody. Like I was
want to
saying.
go see it now.
You're not, buddy. You can't get through a 45-minute basketball
Listen,
quarter. You're not
getting-
watching a movie in theaters.
I'll watch it over 3 days. Like, it'll be fine.
Disrespectful to the art. Okay, so we go see Brutalist, and then they show the intermission. So it's like 15 minutes, and a timer pops up.
That's cool.
We're like, great. So the 5 of us, we walked out. We did some laps. We just kind of debriefed, talked about the movie. like refilled our drinks, went to the bathroom, went back in. It was really cool.
Bring back intermission.
Yeah, it was like halftime for a movie.
That's good.
It's great.
It's a good play.
And then the movie was pretty awesome too. So shout out cinemas because we're back. That's all I got. Now we can just talk about the Lions, right?
Sure.
Okay.
I think we do need to spend a couple of minutes talking about the Washington game. We were there with Blake and Braden, and a couple things. The crowd was not nearly as hyped as they were last year. I'm not sure if it's just more corporate.
Can I jump in real quick?
Please.
Keep going. We have not talked about this much.
We have not.
People have wanted to talk to me about Lions, and I've just kind of deferred.
I haven't watched the Dan Campbell end of season press conference. I didn't watch the Brad Holmes press conference. I'm not fully ready to accept it. I know they've lost.
5 stages of grief.
And I think our appeal probably won't work out properly for the Lions to make it to the Soupy.
Do you want to keep going about the atmosphere?
Yeah.
Okay, keep going.
So I think it was more corporate. Actually, I even talked to a couple of real fans who said, no, I'm saving up for the NFC Championship game. That was a mistake.
You know what that's called? That's called getting cute. You don't get cute in the offs. You go to games you can go to, right?
As you say, you're always playing good teams in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's the whole thing, right? Like, we're not going. We'll talk a bit about Washington. Washington's a very, very good team, and they're going to be very good for the next 12 years.
Sure.
Like, I think they have a foundation.
Daniels is now one of the top, 3 future people you're going to build your franchise around.
Yeah, you could totally say it's like Mahomes, Allen,
Daniels.
I would have, Lamar and then Stroud and Herbo and Drake May.
Yeah, Stroud's pooped this year.
Hendon Hooker. There's a lot of names up there. But keep talking about the atmosphere because I think this is important to
the atmosphere
emphasize.
Was not the same. Wasn't as hyped. Now, half an hour before, 2.5 hours before the game, there wasn't a lot of people there. Obviously, we were there 2.5 hours before the game. But half an hour, it started to get a little bit loud. Shout out to Steve Radovich because he really wanted to know what the crowd was like. The Washington fans were jerks. They really, really were. And we experienced that when we went to New York in October. And I don't really understand why there's such an abrasive fan base. And I don't get it, but they were jerks, obnoxious.
So now you might be thinking, okay, maybe these guys are just upset because we saw our team lose in devastating fashion. So
yes, we were. Of course we were.
That's accurate. But we saw this with the Giants when we went to a meaningless Giants Commanders game, and all the Commanders fans were just like losers and asking to get in fights.
Yes, they pretty much wanted to go and fight.
So we kind of had that already, and then we saw it, and then that was just times 100 because it's like there's
personal.
There's a group of 10, and there's a group of 60,000 Lions fans, and these guys are it was really unbelievable.
And inappropriate, the chirping, it was bad.
It was a lot of bad stuff. It was chanting during injuries. It was nonstop. Police was increased, and I even talked to one of the security guys, and there's going to be a bunch of fights there, and there, so don't go there. I'm like, okay, on my way. And
Except
then
the one girlfriend, boyfriend who were in the section in front of us, who kept having to come up and walk by us, and she was crying and screaming all the time.
Yeah.
The entire second half.
Yep. Like we said, though, they weren't all bad fans. There were some really good Commanders fans that I talked to, one-on-one, that I didn't... I spent most of the fourth quarter on my own. They have this big chair, this big lawn chair, where you sit in and take pictures.
Yeah.
And I just sat and sunk, and I ate a meat stick in that chair for about 15 minutes of real life.
Did you pay for that meat stick, or did you bring
No,
it in?
I snuck that meat stick
Really?
in.
Okay.
Apple?
Energy bar.
It was just tough. So anyways, Commanders fans, some of the one-on-one interactions, we just kind of did a nod of respect a couple times that they initiated, and it was not a boastful. It was I'm sorry, man. Because they could tell that I was pretty upset. And that's good. So there were some good Commanders fans, but vast majority pieces of garbage, with all due respect.
Yep, now we need to transition into the game. So why'd they lose? So I have 2 big reasons why they lost.
I have 7.
I've got some smaller reasons, but the 2 big reasons are 5 turnovers, period. Now, is that tied to Goff? Certainly 4 of them are tied to Goff. And too many injuries on defense. There were other reasons, but not nearly as significant as those first 2. Again, this is imaginary, but we get to play imaginary. In the imaginary Super Bowl, the Lions are there. Hutch has got Defensive Player of the Year votes. McNeil's still there. Davis is still there. Malcolm Rodriguez is still there. And they win. They beat these teams because
Calvin Johnson comes out of retirement.
Calvin Johnson comes back out. Tim Patrick actually gets injured, and Calvin takes his place as a
Remember
third wide receiver.
Remember how in semi-pro, Matt Stafford, Coffee Black in semi-pro he takes his Spurs jersey off and goes plays for the
Yes.
Stafford did that. He didn't dress, but he did that. He took it off and he went in the Lions locker room at
Nice.
halftime. Bobby Boucher got some run too on the edge as well. So you said, so I'll give you turnovers and injuries. So those are two of my reasons as well.
Yeah, like we can talk about some of the smaller reasons. The JMO reverse call was probably a bit much.
Let's start on the turnovers and the injuries. So injuries, I don't want to get into the injuries. Injuries happen. It's football. Were the Lions injuries historical in terms of impact and quantity? Yes, that's a fact.
They were.
But I don't like talking about injuries. We can talk about injuries in game real quick. Amik, Iffy, and Branch all went down in this game. So that's why you had
Fourth quarter, you're getting guys we don't even know. Some Stanley guy. Who's the other guy?
I think Morris, who is an undrafted rookie free agent, who's getting run in a divisional round game. Not getting
in
run,
the fourth quarter, covering, playing safety.
Barely. So we talk about the injuries, so no more on injuries. Let's do turnovers and who was a result of most of these turnovers. We just have to have it out real quick.
Jared Goff, he had a rough game.
I wrote awful.
He really did. If he only has one turnover, we absolutely win. If he has turnovers, we probably win. And this, again, let's assume that JMO also has a turnover. Yeah. Actually, the 3rd and 1 turnover, the complaint is the play call. I said, why don't you just run the ball on 3rd? And Isaac actually made a good point. They're going to run the ball on 4th, so why don't you go for it on 3rd down? Goff, I don't know if you know this. Amon Ra actually slipped on the cut, so he wasn't open. That was the first pass. Graham Glasgow got toasted.
We'll talk about that.
Whose name is Toast.
I just wrote Old Man Graham.
Yeah, he was bad. And so then Goff had to step up. He got the ball knocked out of. If they score a touchdown there, they're up 14-3. They get to continue to run the ball. The game is completely different. 3rd down, lost the ball. Washington really had momentum from then on.
Okay, so Goff, awful game. It's very tough to win playoff games when your quarterback plays that terribly. Mm-hmm. And Goff's not going to be a guy that's going to win a game for us. He's just going to, and he's our guy, and we love him. And
yeah, for sure. We're not. There's no getting rid of Goff. There's no playing Hooker, Bridgewater, whatever. Goff's our guy. He's a top 10 quarterback in the league, and if he has time, he's a top 2 or 3 or 4 quarterback in the league.
Okay, that's a little generous, but that's fine.
If he has time to throw.
Yep.
Pocket.
And if I have time to throw, I'm a top 35 quarterback in the league.
True.
And only 32 start. I just wrote down it's a perfect storm. So we talked about Goff, we talked about injuries. I'll give you a couple more. Play calling and clock management. So play calling, I hate criticizing play calling. It's so dumb. And I don't even know if we want to talk about Ben Johnson today. But here's my issue with criticizing play calling. It is so revisionist history, right? Like, let's say
Monday morning quarterback.
Let's say JMO throws a dime. Everybody is saying how that is the best play call in the decade.
Yep.
Right? So that frustrates me.
And I'm pretty sure they said, if he's covered, throw it out of bounds or run out of bounds. If he's covered, throw it out of bounds, run out of bounds. He got excited. He threw the ball he shouldn't have.
And then clock management. So you might be thinking clock management. What specifically? Game plan. Whole game plan. Right? Detroit should have went in or quickly adjusted to a slow the game down, run the ball on 1st and 2nd.
Well, especially because Amik Robertson got played the second defensive play from scrimmage.
Yeah, just long, methodical drives to not only let your offense settle in, establish the line of scrimmage, which they didn't do a great job. It took some time. Cool Daniels off. Put Daniels on the bench and just get him to get a little chilly.
Get him frustrated.
Just where he's itching to get back out there and he can't because we're just running the ball 5 yards every time. Or in Gibbs' case, 10 yards every time. So that was another reason I have. Pass rush and run defense. Both were basically non-existent.
Yep.
Which we knew that the pass rush thing gets overstated, but it's true. But run defense, like Old Man Brian Robinson, 50 Cent, he looked like a top 5 running back in football. And he's not. So that hurt. Another reason I'll give you. Red zone defense. Washington, 4 for 4 in the red zone with touchdowns. You can't have that. That's right. 4 for 4.
Nope.
You got to capitalize on the other end, and they didn't. And we'll talk about the offensive line because this is kind of the Lions' way of winning in the trenches. They didn't win the trenches. And I just wrote down, looking at you, Old Man Graham.
He had a terrible game.
He had a terrible game, and he had a bad season. He just had a bad season. If you just look at the numbers that I don't understand, he had a bad season. That's another reason. And then I'll give you my last one, coaching. Straight up unprepared. Boys looked unprepared. Looked unprepared.
I'm sure they were prepared, but they looked unprepared.
So that's my last, and I'm not criticizing Campbell directly. I'm just saying, and I hate, do we even talk about the coordinator stuff or no? With Glenn?
We have to talk. it's not relevant to the Washington game. We can talk about it as a
yeah.
foundation for the future.
Yeah, so like I just want to say real quick because everyone's like, it was so quick, and I am a little upset at Ben Johnson for how he went about leaving. Basically, less than 48 hours.
You are dead to us, Ben. Just to be really clear.
Okay. It's so easy to say like, oh, Ben Johnson had a foot out the door, and that's why he called. It's the dumb. Okay, so because we talked about this, where I'm like, okay, so on that JMO play call, do you think he was thinking about Chicago and was like, oh, maybe I should run this play for sure? It's like it just doesn't.
He's trying to be a little too smart, a little too cute.
Exactly,
Like,
it has nothing to
you
do
could
with an
argue
interview
that
5 days ago.
Yeah, that the passes to Skipper and Decker were too cute. Sure, they were, but they were executed and they worked out okay.
Regular season 2, buddy. Right,
Yeah.
so that's fine.
Yep.
And then on the Washington side of things, I don't want to talk about Washington much. Do you want to talk about what went wrong? I think we covered it, but do you have any more to add?
No,
Okay.
they lost. Happens. It's crappy. We still haven't fully accepted it. I'm
going to talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
Washington side, real quick. I don't want to talk about Washington because they just got embarrassed in Philly. But Daniels played a near perfect game. Their run game, like I said, was really efficient.
real solid.
They were 3 for 4 on fourth down.
Yep.
And their defense stepped up and got 5 turnovers. So you had all this
They
Washington.
didn't really stop us. They just got 5 turnovers.
You got all this Washington good stuff and like all these crappy things that happen on the Detroit side. You're not going to win the games, right? Like 15 things go wrong. 6 Washington things go right, and all these Detroit things go wrong. You're not going to win, and that's what happened. That's why they didn't win. I don't even like refs were not. They were not one of my 8 reasons here.
Nope.
So that's not like obviously some of the calls were like well he tried to concuss my quarterback.
Yeah.
He got fined after the game.
Yeah, but don't throw the interception. You don't get concussed on the run back.
Exactly. I don't want to do the ref thing. We'll leave that for Bills fans. 5 stages of grief. Should I talk about it?
Yes, you should. That's important.
So I'll just name them. Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. So I'll just real quick.
In that order?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll just quickly go through my experience. Denial was during the game.
Agreed.
And a little right after, where it was like, no. Then anger, that's kind of like, I don't think that should be 2. I think anger is kind of always. Like, anger is I'm angry right now. So maybe I'm still in stage 2. The third stage, this is where I think I am. It's bargaining. You know what bargaining means in this case? Because I didn't.
I don't believe I do.
It means struggling to find meaning. So you're basically having like an existential, like, why?
I would say bargaining would be an apt description for us right now.
Yeah, I'm in 3 for sure. I'm bargaining. I'm still trying to find meaning.
But I'm still angry, so I don't know
there's
how
little...
you can differentiate between them.
Buddy, Dr. Grief, you got to fix these up.
4 is depression?
4 is depression.
Well, I'm still depressed, too.
And then acceptance is last.
Well, no word. 5, I don't even know what that word acceptance means.
That's not even a stage of grief. That's like a stage of happiness. So anyways, lots of plot holes in the 5 stages, but nonetheless, I'm trying to find meaning. Why did this happen to me? Do you want to talk about grief any further?
No.
Okay. So do you want to talk about notable free agents?
Yes, we need to talk about
I'll let you run
the future.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm going to go into the different position groups, and I'd like you to jump in when you have a good point.
All right, that's rare.
Okay, Jared Goff. He's our quarterback. He's our man.
We're going through every single position?
Position group.
Holy poverty.
Okay. Hooker. Is somebody going to try and trade for him? All those silly rumors. He's the backup next year, and that's it, right?
I'd be shocked if someone traded for him.
Agreed. Gibbs. He's a top 3 running back in the league. He's going to get 68% of the carries next year. Monty, we have you back full. We're good. Wide receiver, tight end, we're solid. O-line. Okay, so we need to talk about what's going to happen with the O-line.
2 holes at guard.
Okay, I think we can say we have 1 filled with Mahogany.
Okay, I agree. I think Mahogany can start day 1.
So do we bring Zeitler back
Feed
for
me,
1
Kevin.
more year?
Yeah.
I think so. And if you don't, you got to get somebody.
Well, they could cut Glasgow. Or they could have him as a backup.
I think Glasgow's going to get cut.
I would love to bring in another guy.
Yep.
I agree. Mahogany can start somewhere. Glasgow cannot start.
There's a bit of positional flexibility with Glasgow, but presumably they have enough guys
He's a
that
corpse.
they're going to be okay.
With all due respect to Graham and his family, Graham's a corpse, right? Like, he just can't play. Not in Detroit. What else do you have?
Okay. Defensive line will be fine next year because we got McNeil and Hutchback. Again, we don't have McNeil back until probably October, November. I don't care about that. We don't need him in September and October. We need him in December and January.
Save me, Aleem.
Yeah. What's the deal with Smith? Zadarius Smith. We can
they save a lot of money if they cut him. So it's really a matter of if they go, are they going to go and spend and get somebody? Because
they do need somebody.
Right? Do they get someone outside of a guard? Like, do they sign a legit wide receiver 3? Because Tim Patrick's free agent.
I don't think they sign.
Do they extend Davenport? Do they maybe let Smith go?
No, Davenport is a waste of money. He's dead to me.
I agree. Skip is also a free agent.
I love Skip, but if they sign him for anything more than a backup offensive line wage, it's too nice. And
yeah.
Where else is he going to go and be Skip? Nowhere.
Derek Barnes is a guy I think I'd like to see stay.
Aaron Glenn's going to overpay for him.
Aaron Glenn probably will.
Yeah, that's the rumor.
Carlton Davis.
Yes, sign him. You gave up a 3rd-round pick for him. He's a number 1 cornerback. He has the reputation in the league. He doesn't get as many flags thrown on him. Absolutely, you sign Davis.
Melifon Wu, who wasn't awesome when he came back, but he was fine.
I think you can get a 3rd safety.
Yeah, I agree. So there's some notable free agents. Are you going to keep going through every single position group? Or?
I just got a couple points here. So the defensive line guys we talked about. Robertson, we get back, correct?
Yeah,
I think it's a 2-year deal.
Yeah, we do.
So we're pretty solid other than, who's playing edge opposite Hutch, assuming we sign Davis, and then what are we doing with that other guard position? I'm happy. And let's be really clear. That foundation, there will be very few teams in the NFL, maybe Philly, probably not KC, who would say, I'll take my roster over yours.
You didn't address wide receiver 3. I think that's a hole.
I'm not terribly worried about that.
Really?
No, and I'll tell you why. Because they picked up Patrick for a bag of pucks. With the attention that Gibbs, Laporta, St. Brown, and J-Mo get, any experienced guy who's going to ring chase is going to say, I'm signing with the Lions. I'm not worried about that.
Nonetheless, it's still a man that needs to be signed. They don't have a wide receiver 3 on the roster.
Agreed. Yeah, but it's not going to be a 2 years, $18 million guy. It'll be a 1 year, 6.
Yeah, right. New England has a bunch of they all their whole team is wide receiver 3s. Get one of those guys.
Sure. Pick up Juju Smith-Schuster or pick up.
Well, he doesn't play on New England.
I know. I'm just picking up. Just get a guy.
He's about to win a Super Bowl.
That's okay.
Again, I have 3 reasons why Lions are going to win the Super Bowl. Do you have any more nonsense here?
No, we'll talk about the coordinators afterwards.
Okay. We'll do the coordinators now because that's not as optimistic as my next thing.
So defensive coordinator, Kelvin Shepard, looks great. He's going to be aggressive. Culture, the Lions have culture. Not going to be a huge change there. Now the Morton guy, who I guess is a little bit of a weirdo.
Yeah.
But he's supposed to be creative. He's supposed to be smart. Again, I talk about culture and the weapons that they have on offense. I'm not worried about it. The good teams lose guys.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I'm glad you said that. Coordinators leave, it happens. And
just hasn't happened to the Lions because they haven't had good coordinators.
Philly lost a couple coordinators a couple years ago, and they're in the Super Bowl right now, right? So it happens. The new guys, I wouldn't have hated if they got someone completely new for defense with a whole new scheme to kind of change, because I know a lot of people didn't like Glenn's scheme. So, that's fine. Shepard is a culture guy, and I've watched a clip of him talking to Rodrigo when he's a rookie. That'll
awesome.
fire you up.
Yep.
Offense, so I don't know a ton about the OC. Kind of a hothead from what I read. Did you read more that he's weird?
Just some Twitter stuff.
Okay, that's always good.
Yeah, from really legitimate sources.
So I hope that works out.
fatbob73@gmail.com gave me a couple of good intakes.
So we emailed you then. Fat Bob did. Okay, coordinators are fine. They're going to be great. I'm honestly not worried. I'm not worried about it. Halfway through the year, it popped in my head, and I'm like, it's fine.
Whatever. I'm not worried about it. Aaron Glenn, I hope you do well in New York.
I'm rooting for the
I really do. And New York, be nice to him. Give him some time. Next couple of years are going to be rough because they really don't have a lot of guys.
Free Aaron Glenn. Let's get him out of there.
But please do not take Rodgers. Get a bag of pucks and play a young quarterback. If you hitch yourself to Aaron Rodgers, that's going to be your downfall.
Well, yeah.
Because he's going to throw you under the bus at week 2.
Well, it's going to be Rodgers or Glenn. There's not a world where they're both there.
And it's going to have to be Glenn is the guy. In Glenn we trust. Just like the Lions did with Campbell. Let him run.
So Aaron Glenn, really rooting for him. His press conference was great. I really hope that, and I have no ill will towards the Jets, right? Like, go Jet, right? It doesn't bother.
Doesn't affect us,
right? As long as a war criminal,
we made Aaron Glenn in the Super Bowl. Great.
As long as a war criminal is not taking snaps with him under center, and that would be Aaron Rodgers, I'll be okay with them.
Oh, let's be really clear. If Aaron Rodgers is their quarterback next year,
War criminals.
yeah, war criminal, and I hope
Free Aaron Glenn.
I hope they actually go -2 and 19. That's what I hope the record is.
Okay, so we'll talk about Ben Johnson, the Bears. Go ahead.
He's dead to me.
Okay. I don't think you can say that.
You can't? Oh, sorry. Ben Johnson. Good luck in Chicago. They've got a terrible ownership structure. They do have some pieces on D and on offense. They have no offensive line.
Speak to Ben directly. This is great.
Ben, you need to hope that Caleb Williams is Patrick Mahomes reincarnated. Other than that, you're done. 2 years, you'll be out. Okay. And we'll take you back as offensive coordinator.
Quarterback coach,
whatever. Sure.
I don't really have that view. I just kind of have the, like, as a Lions fan, it's like, all right, so, like, he's our guy. He left to a division rival less than 48 hours later. He said he wasn't taking our staff. He took our staff. Right when he signed, there was reports that he had a lot of his staff picked out. That those were reported for a reason. Somebody leaked them. His press conference, I just didn't like. Like, Ben Johnson, like, Lions advice, I was just like,
Why don't you talk about the leader of men deal?
Yeah, so we talked about this a lot. We talked about it before it was a thing. Just because, like, he works with people, I work with people, and I'm in human resources. So people are interesting, and understanding people and knowing how to lead people and work with people is like day-to-day life stuff. How to talk to people is like happens at the bus stop, happens at the grocery store, happens at the urinal. If you guys are talking ball, right? Happens all the time. And that kind of segues.
Don't say nice watch at the urinal. That's inappropriate.
That segues to leading people. Leading people and understanding people and connecting
getting people
with them.
to buy in, getting people to believe in you.
Yeah, believe in you, believe in the team, believe in everything.
I think Ben is a spectacular number 2. I don't think he's a number 1.
So basically, when I see Aaron Glenn in a press conference, I buy it. I buy that. I'm like, that's a leader. He's a guy that a full locker room of alpha males can get behind. When I see Ben Johnson speaking to a locker room, it's like, X's and O's are there, but not sure if the boys are buying in completely. Campbell gives you a bit of both. Campbell's like sneaky X's and O's guys and has helped with the offense and a lot of his stuff, not Ben Johnson's stuff. And we still have his playbook, buddy. It's still in Detroit, so we're okay. I don't think
the Magic Green book from Waterboy.
Yeah, exactly.
We still have that book.
Like Pete Carroll, for example. I love Pete Carroll.
It's awesome.
I love Pete.
I mean, I wouldn't be super happy if I'm a Raider fan. We talked about this the other day because, you're Max Crosby. You're probably 28 or 29 years old. You're a top 3 defensive player in the league. And you just signed a guy who's 73?
So that's the thing. So Pete Carroll, worst case, he'll lead a locker room. He'll get guys to buy in, even at that age, I think. So Ben Johnson, I don't buy as a leader. And yeah, that's all I got there.
Fair enough.
Hope it does well in Chicago brackets. I hope they lose 15 games next year.
Urban, you're going down.
But let the record show. I don't know if I'm allowed to say. I actually think it's a really good fit. I think they'll be pretty good. I think they'll be pesky. So can I not say that? Because I won't if I can't.
You can't say that.
All right, good thing.
Delete that.
Good thing they're winning 4 games. No, I didn't say that. I said I could have.
You could have, but you didn't. We spent hours and hours editing this material after we record, so we'll have to edit that out. Okay. But actually, now that I think about it, we don't do any editing, do we?
Yeah, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Okay, John Pork loved that joke. Now, 3 reasons why the Lions are going to win the Super Bowl next year. 1, injured faces coming back. Man, we were 15-2 with a lot of garbage, man.
Look at all these free agents we're going to sign. We're going to sign a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. Oh, wait a second. Hutch, he's
How do
coming
we have
back.
the cap space for all these defensive great players?
I have no idea how we're going to get all these guys.
Infinite cap.
Yeah.
I'd like to get Aleem McNeil. Can we sign him?
We can sign him, too.
Buddy.
He's all pro.
Yeah, and then Kirby. We're going to sign him, actually.
Yep.
Actually extend Kirby. So we're going to get a lot of new guys back. So if you want to do the cap or the thing, like, this roster is going to be a lot better next year.
And we're about in the middle of the league when it comes to cap room. So we're doing okay. We can actually sign a couple other dudes.
Second, young player improvement. My main guy here is Terrion Arnold, Agent Zero. He's going to improve. And I'll tell you that because he's not going to get any worse. So I think Arnold's going to take steps forward. And I also wrote down a guy like Jack Campbell. Jack Campbell took a big leap from year 1 to year 2. Like, he's close to being a legit star in my eyes.
Yep.
I think he will be.
He's borderline all-pro.
I think he's going to. So I think like guys are going to take a leap. I bet Laporta takes a leap.
Branch is going to get better.
Branch is going to get better.
And he's already sick.
I think Gibbs might get better because he's going to get the ball more.
For Gibbs to get better, they're going to have to change the rules because he's going to be so good.
I think he's the second best running back in football. I'd take Saquon over him. I would take Gibbs over Old Man Derek.
I agree with you.
I'd take him over whoever.
Anybody else? Who's the guy? Who's the guy that Atlanta drafted at 6? Robinson. Bijan Robinson.
Because that was the debate. Yeah. And we were like, Bijan was supposed to be better.
I'd like to talk to an Atlanta fan, a real fan.
Good luck finding one.
No, I'm going away next week. I'm going to find a couple of Atlanta fans.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to wear some. Yeah, I'm going to wear some Lion stuff.
Or Desmond Ritter jersey. See if you can draw a Falcon fan.
Good luck.
Third reason.
Can you get a Desmond Ritter jersey?
Third reason. Vikings Eagles regression. So I'll explain that. I think the Vikings are due for regression. They're not going to win 14 games again. I'm comfortable saying.
No way.
And then the Eagles, buddy, they almost imploded like 14 times throughout the year. They're going to implode at some point.
They're going to lose to KC.
Yeah, and then
there's going to be finger pointing, all sorts of stuff. And Jalen Carter, who's awesome, is going to be angry again.
Did I send you the thing about he killed a guy?
No, like Brick killed the dude with a trident.
I think I can say this because it's a joke. Anyways, Jalen Carter had some trouble in his past.
Didn't he like drive his car into somebody with a car?
He was like racing and he killed a couple people.
Who's that Denver wide receiver? Or Raiders wide receiver who killed the dude?
Henry Ruggs.
Henry Ruggs.
Not what we're talking about.
This is terrible.
I'm talking about Jalen Carter.
Bad guys.
Jalen Carter killed a couple people, and then in the last game, he like did illegal hands to the face on somebody, and like basically punched a guy in the face. And then the tweet was like showing the video, and it was like Jalen Carter just killed this guy. And then the response to that was like, last time he did that, he just drove away. So, So I just want to say I thought that was funny.
Darius Slay's going to be done.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, there's slated Detroit stuff too.
Yeah, I heard that.
Because I think he really likes Detroit.
For sure he does. And Lane Johnson, is that his name? Who thinks he's the best lineman?
Holy Lane got cooked.
Shut up.
Okay, let's side with that.
And he's going to regress.
So we have any more lines other than that? We're back. We're in the soupy.
No, we're going to win the soupy.
Okay. Eagles, commies. I'll let you talk about it for like 20 seconds.
Eagles, commies, ugly game. I don't care. I hate you both.
Yep, real. I agree. I won't even talk about it. Bills, Chiefs. So talk about this for like 40 seconds.
Who's a bigger GOAT right now? Dalton Kincaid or Mark Andrews?
So GOAT, like for my culture.
Oh yeah. Sorry, GOAT. No, who's a bigger poop head?
Who's more sus?
Who's more sus or mid?
Yeah, that's good. It's Andrews because Andrews had a whole bad game.
It was so bad.
Kincaid was just
he had the fumble too.
He
that's
fumbled,
right.
And like even before that, like he missed a couple.
And
blocks.
actually, the pass was an easier pass to catch. But Buffalo fans are going to say wide right and Kincaid dropped the ball like 6 years from now. Sorry, Uncle Phil.
Yeah. So you want to talk about the game itself?
The Sus Bowl that's coming up?
No, not this. We're not even going to talk about the Super Bowl yet. I'm talking Bills Chiefs. Do you have any thoughts? Do you not want to talk about that? It was a pretty good exhibition of the sport.
Yeah, it was a pretty good game. I hate them all.
Yeah, so everyone's, and I'm like, I want to watch the world burn. I can say this, because I came up with this, and then I saw it after the fact. Remember Dark Knight Rises?
Yeah.
I know you know. I'm telling the people. Okay. Dark Knight Rises. Look up Dark Knight Rises football scene.
Yes.
That's what I want to happen in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And then those who get the reference, great. If not, basically Bane is some big bad guy.
Was it Hines Ward who scored the touchdown?
Yeah.
Nice.
He turns around and everyone basically blows up the stadium.
It's a crater.
Yeah. No, I don't actually want this to happen.
Oh, but don't make any reference to one of the luxury boxes. Don't do that reference. That'd be bad.
Because Abe Lincoln?
No, the luxury box in Dark Knight Rises, because they did the big crater in the field, then one of the luxury boxes blew up that had like the president or something.
Yeah.
But don't make that reference. That'd be bad.
I'm just joking.
I just hit E. Actually, I was listening to somebody. Somebody said, "Oh, you guys are on all over the place, but you're on E."
Explicit, because sometimes
we say
like,
we swear
war
a
criminal.
little bit.
No, we'll say like war criminal. It's like I don't want the little kids listening to that. You know, don't introduce them to war crimes yet.
Sorry, Christian and Theo and
my guys. It was a good game, Bills Chiefs.
Yeah, it was a good game. Josh actually didn't make the plays when he
didn't have a good game. People won't, the media won't talk about Josh Allen. He didn't really have a great game.
No, he didn't. He's great. He didn't have a great game.
They called it.
No, he had a much better game than Goff had in his loss.
I'm not talking about that. Allen had a bad game, and the coaching. I think McDermott did get outcoached. I think Andy Reid runs circles around him, and he has before he will again. Respectfully.
Okay. No aura, sus bowl. I don't care about you.
The Super Bowl has no aura.
No aura. That was my line. I said to Isaac, we should work that in.
Buddy. Okay. I just checked the Super Bowl MVP odds. Guess who's the front runner?
It's not John Pork. Stop with that pork stuff. I'm going to have pulled pork for dinner. I'm going to eat his cousin. Can I say that?
Yeah,
Is that explicit too?
No, it's fine. All right, free John Pork. We guess we'll talk ball for like 10 or so.
We're gonna talk. We do some NBA hot takes.
Go ahead.
So Jimmy, listen. I know Pat Riley has said no to you, and you're pissed off because Riley didn't treat you well. But you're kind of being a bitch.
Stop.
He is.
Free him, man.
Okay, and he's going to be freed, but he's got to be freed to a team that has to win in the next year. The only two options: Golden State and Phoenix.
No, I don't care. Send him to Brooklyn. That's fine.
Really?
Yeah,
No.
get him out of there.
Nobody else wants him.
Yeah, I'm saying I don't care if he goes to a contender at this point. I've accepted that. I accepted he's going to be a Hall of Famer without any rings. If he goes to Golden State, I'll be happy. If he goes to Detroit, I'll be happy.
No, Steph needs some help.
Oh yeah, I
Can't
hope
wait.
do it.
You can't waste a Steph Curry year.
I didn't write down any stuff on Jimmy. I said Houston. I said Houston's the team. Houston should go all in on Jimmy if they were
Actually,
smart.
they should.
Because capitalize.
They add Jimmy. They're for sure the second best team out west, but they can certainly give OKC a run.
And my take with that is, I guess I'll segue because I think I wrote this down. I think the Thunder are going to have the NBA in a chokehold for the next 12 years. So if I'm Houston, I'm trying to get Jimmy right now before the chokehold gets in, and going to go sneak a really early championship before OKC window is like fully.
Yeah, because OKC is going to they've got all these first round draft picks and they got good young guys.
Okay, keep
And
going
Shea's
through
a
some
beast.
takes.
Okay, Cleveland will flame out in the playoffs, squeak by in the first round, and get washed in the second round by New York. They should actually trade for Cam Johnson, but they won't.
Ball nowhere. I completely agree with the Cam
That's
Johnson bit. I think Cleveland's better than you're giving them credit to. But that's fine. I'll Thunder real quick. I've said for probably 2 years publicly, give me all the Shea stock. Give me all the Thunder stock. MVP, future MVPs, championships, finals MVPs. I think Shea and the Thunder are going to probably win 3 championships.
Okay, Shea win the MVP this year?
Yeah.
Okay, I wrote that down.
I don't think
as
I would
well.
vote for him.
No, I wrote down Jokic is better.
Okay, let's go. Do Jokic.
Jokic is a freak show, and just watch him. He makes. If I played with Jokic, I'd get 14 points a game.
Yeah, especially with inflation.
Yeah, with inflation. I don't really understand that.
My inflation take in the NBA is 20 points a game in the NBA is what 15 points
in college.
20. Well, it's mainly where it's 30 points right now in the NBA is if you scored 25 points a few years ago.
Copy.
Because everything's inflation.
Got it.
In the new America. Jokic, I wrote down he's going to be top 10 ever. I'm very confident in that. Look at the numbers. He'll be top 10.
Yeah, you know what? And it's funny because we haven't done this for a little while, but we should do a top 10 or an all-time NBA draft. He's going to get drafted quick. He'll get drafted 5 or 6.
That's high.
I know it's high, but think about bigs that you're going to take in front of him.
Hey, best cracker ever, Jokic or Larry? Who's going to end higher?
Who's going to end higher?
Yeah.
I think Jokic, but he's got to win some more first. Right today, it's still Larry.
Where do you have Larry?
I think I probably have him about 5.
Okay, that's fair. I won't give you the Jokic numbers, but they're almost unbelievable. The main one is he's shooting 50% from 3. It's unbelievable. Do you want to talk about the Pistons? Or do you want to wait? Do you want to do that at the end?
I want the Pistons to get the number 6 seed. I really do, and I'm torn. Because one of the things about sports is if your team's not good, then you have hope for the future. Right? And the Pistons are right there, but I also don't want them to sacrifice their future to get in as the 6th seed.
6th seed. Feed me.
So you want them to trade for Zach LaVine and give away a future first? I don't know if they can do that because of all that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, listen, if they're not giving away a first, but I don't even know if they can because the whole Duran stuff.
Thanks, Troy Weaver.
Then I'm not worried about that stuff. Actually, Bill Simmons had a funny quote.
Buddy. Okay, go ahead. Talk about other podcasts on this podcast.
No,
That's good.
Bill, listen to this. He said Monty Williams should have to do a sitcom and live with Killian Hayes for a week.
Yeah, that's really good.
That's good stuff.
Pistons. So their playoff team, perennial All-NBA guy. Cade's the man. Save us, Cade.
Yep.
We'll see him Friday in person. We'll break them down. I'll take some notes during the game. Looking forward to that.
For sure.
We talked about Jokic.
Zion gets traded to Utah.
Dude, no way. Okay, break that real quick. That's so
No,
dumb.
listen, they've got some picks. The Pelicans need to blow it up, so they're going to buy him on the cheap. And Utah's going to get him. So Zion and their big cracker, Lauri Markkanen, that's a good combo.
We can say crack. Right?
You can say cracker.
Yeah, okay.
Vanilla?
Yeah. Let me talk about... I'll talk about another cracker. Cooper Flag. So this isn't NBA directly. I'm going to name...
Pretty soon.
I'm going to name a bunch of teams. Bulls, Sixers, Nets, Hornets, Raptors, Wizards. Blazers, Pelicans, Jazz. So those are the 3 worst teams in the West and the 6 worst teams in the East. I think they should all bottom out. That's a third of the league. I think Cooper's that good. He is lighting up college basketball world. It's unbelievable.
Cooper's going to go to the Raptors.
I hope not.
No, that'd be good for Urban Paul and those guys.
Yeah, it'd be good for Urban. You're right.
Yeah.
But he just stole Ben Johnson from us. So,
well, that's Chicago Urban, not Toronto Urban.
Yeah. Look, there's a lot of bad teams in the NBA, like the Sixers right now. I think you sell.
Actually, I watched some of the Sixer game last night.
I watched some of that too.
As soon as the Lakers lost Davis, they were completely trash.
Interesting.
And do we talk about Bronny?
Yeah, sure.
Last night, I think Bronny played his first meaningful minutes in the NBA, and his coach pretty much had to apologize for it.
Actually. No, like, he's
Really?
not joking. It happened. JJ Redick after the game was like, he's just not good. I'm sorry.
Yeah, just, it was a tough situation, and he's done pretty well in the get-ready games, and I think that means the G League.
He said something because he plays some G. It's such a joke. It's unreal, but I love it.
But, turnover, block,
yeah,
miss three, breaking threes, that's it.
It's like you put a grade school kid playing with, like, good high school guys.
Yeah.
Like a grade 4 kid, and it's like, all right, go play senior ball right now. He's just out of place.
Yeah.
So I talked about those teams. Just Cooper Flag. He's also a 4.0 student. I read that.
Really?
Yeah, I read that. Not sure how reliable the source was, but I read it. Cooper Flag, he's the man. I have a lot of Victor propaganda. Like a lot.
We need to talk about Fox going to the Spurs. This is the first in a series of many superstars that say, I want to play with that guy. That was Isaac's take yesterday.
Yeah, so Victor, the top 5 player in the league. I love him. I bought a shirt. I bought his jersey right when he was drafted. Sorry, right when the Pistons lost the lottery. I was so in on Victor. It was like, that's fine. I'm still going to support Victor and live with it. So I have a Spurs Victor jersey that I love, and I have a Spurs Victor shirt. All before I thought he was going to be the man. All before he proved he was the man. He's a top 5 guy in the league right now. This is the worst he'll ever be. De'Aaron Fox is the first of many superstars over the next 15 years that are going to request that guy.
For sure.
So let's remember that name, De'Aaron Fox, in basketball history, because he knows ball. He wants to go to San Antonio. He wants to play with Vic.
Does Chris Paul not get to be on the list?
I thought about that because I remember I had that exact thought.
But he's a little washed.
Chris Paul is about 46, right? So I wouldn't call him a star. Fox is a legit star.
Klay Thompson had 7 3-pointers in the first quarter.
That was a great notification I saw. That made me happy.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
I need to watch it.
I was just on my phone. It said Klay 7 threes or 6 threes first quarter. Just joy. That made me so happy.
Good for Klay.
Sixers, I talked about. They're 15-27 last I checked. Or did they won? Yeah, they won yesterday, so I guess they're 16. They're 11th in the East. Blow it up. Blow it up. It's not working. Process didn't
blow
work.
Up with what? Nobody's going to pick Embiid. Nobody's going to pick PG. And Maxey you can't trade because he's your only guy.
Okay, but then there's the question of like
Yasalubal or whatever his name is. Is there
Jan Baselli? Yeah,
Jan Baselli, who I like.
I like too.
He was good in the Olympics.
I think the Sixers just blow it up. Do something. Go get Cooper Flag. Timberwolves. Talk about blow it up. They're such a mess. We got a free Ant. That's our job.
Yeah, free Ant-Man. You know what?
Go get Jimmy. Get the boys back. Get Wiggins.
Get him back.
Get Towns.
Yeah,
get Levine on the cheap. And get Jimmy. And call up old man Tibbs and just take a little stint outside of New York. Come coach Minnesota.
You saw that stat where they list the 3 players that have the most minutes together playing in the NBA.
Yeah.
And all of them are combinations of the New York Knicks.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's funny.
Basically, here's my real last thing on Minnesota, and then I'll let you say some nonsense. The Bucks traded for Dame to keep Giannis happy.
Yeah.
Now, that probably wasn't the best basketball move, but they needed
Sometimes
to make
you do that for your star.
You make a splash, you show your star, hey, we're trying to win.
Yep,
we're trying
and then he signed.
Then, my point here is the Timberwolves need to make a splash. They have to do something to show Ant, hey, you're the man, we love you, we're trying to win.
But they traded away most of their first to get Gobert.
I don't know what it is.
So they get a burnt croissant.
Do something.
And... yeah, they're rough.
Let Randall shoot like 60 times a game and hope he drops like a 60 burger or something, and then you can dump him to Charlotte.
Then they'll lose.
For Mark Williams. You got to keep Ant happy, or if not, we're going to send him to San Antonio. I'll start that. Ant to San Antonio to play with Victor.
Those two together would be unbelievable.
And Fox, too.
Yeah.
And Stephon Castle as well.
Okay.
Rookie of the year. Go ahead. Knights.
Okay,
nonsense.
NBA
I'm done.
and Detroit Red Wings, we need you to be good for the next 3 months because... the Lions have hurt us. We're hurt.
Real.
You didn't intend to do
Say
that,
real.
but you did. That's real. no aura, sus, mid, all that John Pork, messy stuff.
Yeah.
So we need you to be good to provide us entertainment because we're sad. We deserve happiness. We do.
Yeah, look, the sports thing is tough right now. It's it's a lot of movies. You're watching some garbage TV. There's a hole in my life, and it was a Lions Super Bowl that we didn't get.
We didn't get it.
But we're gonna win it next year, so it's actually gonna be fine. Like we're actually winning it next year.
So
What stage of grief is that?
I don't know. Let's think about. We each get to name 2 other people who we know who are in a stage similar to us. Blake and Braden, yes. Those are given. Who else is in a similar stage of grief to us?
Probably Coach
Radovich
Rob.
for sure. Coach Rob.
Coach Rob
probably.
reached out and is like, "Hey, like a week later, are you okay?" Blevins is probably similar.
Blev, okay, good for Blev. Not
Jers.
good, but-
I didn't even see the couple of my guys like Jer and Loney's like my guys. It's like we haven't even talked about the game. These are guys I talk to about ball all the time. We haven't talked for 2 weeks.
Yeah, Daryl from Detroit. Yeah.
Yeah. All the nice workers, I have a lot. Everyone. I'll say this. I'll wrap this up. We go to the market in Detroit. I go with my mom a lot. Okay. I've been wearing a Lions toque.
Eastern Market
in Detroit. I've been wearing a Lions toque since I was 6 there. Like during all their bad years,
Yeah,
I was
can
always
barely
in Lions.
talk, big lisp.
Yeah, with a Lions toque. So they know me as this Lions fanatic.
The Canadian Lions fan.
And as they got good, it was like everyone else would wear Lions suits. But like I was always in Lions stuff or Tiger stuff or a lot of Lions. So the amount of, hey, you doing okay? I got at the market. Can I say made me want to jump off the bridge? Because I won't say
You
that.
actually can't say that.
I'm not going to say that.
No, that's inappropriate.
I'm not. I didn't say it.
Yeah, Liam.
I didn't say it. Basically,
Liam.
I was very upset, and every single person at the market, I wasn't even. No, I would still wear my Lions hat, even in defeat. I wore it with pride, and probably 15 or 16.
I wore
different
Lions
people.
stuff to work 9 days in a row.
I wear my Lions socks all the
Your
time.
quarter zip or my nice pin.
All those
Did you get a
casuals.
pin?
No, they didn't have any.
Oh, it's
I
too
just
bad.
We'll wrap up real quick. All the casuals at the airport and around town that wear Lions stuff, you better still wear that stuff.
You
Casuals.
better still wear your stuff.
Or like I don't want to wait until
Matt Carter, I better see you wearing your stuff.
So that's all. Just wear Lions stuff, and we'll be saved. We'll be saved. Hutch will save us. We're okay.
Remember this. Next year, we're coming for you. The entire NFL.
Okay.
Lions are coming for you.
All right. Say farewell.
Peace out. Don't be sus.